I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya. New construction is coming to a Flagler County subdivision, Rich Petchke reports.
County commissioners approved the rezoning of a nearly 8-acre parcel at Hammock Dunes, south of the Hammock Dunes Parkway and west of Camino del Mar, to create a new residential community. The new Renaissance at Hammock Dunes will have nearly 30 houses, with each sitting on a 6,000 square foot lot, and will have a minimum of 1,700 square feet of living space. Hammock Dunes currently has around 1,200 homes, and officials say the new construction should be completed within 1.5 to 2 years. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Rich Petchke.
This portion of WNZF Local News, a service of the Daytona Beach International Airport. Fly to the Big Apple in a New York minute on JetBlue from the Daytona Beach International Airport.
The Flagler County Sheriff's Office's expanded traffic unit now features 5 new Mustangs that are actively patrolling the streets of Flagler County. John Arking has the details.
The Mustangs were purchased as part of an initiative this year to expand the unit in the city of Palm Coast. Sheriff Rick Staley said because there were over 30 fatalities last year in Palm Coast, the expanded traffic unit is determined to make local roads safer for driving, walking, and riding your bicycle. The new Mustangs are marked with Sheriff's Office decals and feature standard red and blue lights and sirens, but when viewing these slick-top vehicles while approaching from the front or in a rear-view mirror, it is almost impossible to identify them as law enforcement. This was done intentionally, as the Mustangs will primarily focus on speed enforcement, DUI enforcement, and aggressive driving. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arking.
The owners of a Palm Coast business face charges of insurance and organized fraud. An insurance audit found that Evolution Drywall failed to report their true payroll expenses. Their annual income was logged at $57,000, while the audit found the company made nearly $3 million. The audit claims President Christian Moran, Vice President Blanca Tejada, and Secretary Eric Tejada purchased minimal workers' compensation insurance coverage in the amount of $140,000. The company claimed to have 4 employees and said they didn't use any outside contractors. But an on-site audit by Bridgefield Employers Insurance Company found 13 employees at the business and a subcontractor's worksheet showing dozens of subcontractors, 2 of which were uninsured. President Moran was booked at the Flagler County Jail. And then there were 4. Alvin Jackson, Scott Tipton, Lyndon Bonner, and Maren Murphy are left in the race to fill the Bunnell City manager's post. Murphy and Jackson were last to interview Monday. Bonner, a former Bunnell City manager, was Mayor Kathleen Robinson's pick, but he has some black marks on his resume. He was fired by Jackson County after only 3 weeks on the job over allegations of sexual harassment lodged by his assistant. He also was the subject of a sexual harassment complaint during his time in Bunnell, but that complaint was ultimately dismissed. At the time, Bonner had apparently threatened litigation, though he denied that at his interview Monday. He was also fired from his job as Henry County, Georgia's manager after just a year. Maren Murphy, meantime, spent most of his career as a county manager in New York State until he was forced out over a possible legal battle. He's since spent less than a year as assistant city manager in Newport Richey. Brian Watkins, a city manager with a decade of experience in Milton who garnered the most votes for a short listing, has dropped out of the race, as has John Klim of St. Simon Island, Georgia. Commissioners were scheduled to meet early next week to discuss the next step, which could include re-interviewing some candidates. And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.